Hey guys, welcome to Etheria Restart. In today's video, we are doing a beginner's guide for the game, get you understanding all of the core systems and areas inside the game, and then I will be doing many more advanced guides on different topics in the future. Now, let's jump in, and the first thing that I want to mention is, in the home screen, the easiest way you're going to navigate to anything is in the top right-hand corner. You can also hit Tab if you're playing on PC, and that is going to open up this menu, which has a ton of different things for you to go ahead and look at. Now, the first thing is going to be your animus. So let's go ahead and talk about your animus. These are your characters in the game and the core fundamentals of them. It is a turn-based game, so these guys are each going to have 3 skills on their kit. Now, sometimes they can have a passive skill. For instance, the skill 2 can sometimes be a passive. Sometimes they'll have a passive tied into the bottom of their skill 1, but they will normally have 3 different skills. You can go ahead and read them and find out. I've got a bunch of videos already talking about different characters and their skills. And then we also have their base stats over here, which go up as you level up your characters. You can level them up through the general upgrade screen in details. You can upgrade them once they hit the max level for that star rating. You can upgrade their stars, and then once you upgrade their stars, they will go to the next one. They will go back to level 1, and you'll have to upgrade them all the way through again. That is the general upgrade progression of them. Then we have modules, which is your gearing system. We have shells, which are kind of like your weapons, but they're farmable, so you don't have to summon for these guys. I do have a full video recorded and ready to go that will go in depth into all of the gearing system, the matrix effects or set bonuses as well. So that video in itself is like a 20-minute video, so I'm not going to go into depth into that now. Then we have our prowess. Now, prowess, your skill ups, the materials required to do these little upgrades, which I can show you on another character, for instance. These materials are completely farmable in the game. The ones that aren't farmable are these cubes. Now, for SR characters, you'll have purple cubes. For SSR characters, you'll have the gold ones. And for rare characters, you'll have blue ones. Now, these are the finite resource. These are what you're going to be getting from events, achievements, and stuff like that. So these are the ones you've got to use sparingly. But all these first little few that you can upgrade, you can just go ahead and farm those materials to get yourself some extra attack, defense, and HP on all your characters from the early prowess. Now, in the middle here, this is our duping system. As you can see, dupes are going to give you some base stat increases, some different stat increases. As you can see, his is effect accuracy. Different characters will have a different effect here. Every character is going to have attack, defense, and HP percent on their 1 and 3. And then once again, we're going to have a different effect on the number 4. And then the final one is going to be increasing damage dealt and decreasing damage taken. So as you get dupes, just go ahead, activate these. It's going to give you a bit of a stat boost, and that's pretty much what we're looking at there. And that is pretty much all the basics behind your characters. Once again, I'll have a much more detailed gearing guide coming out that you guys can check out for that, because it is kind of complicated when you first jump into this game. Now, I just want to quickly touch on combat itself. So we're going to jump into a scenario here and challenge, just so you know the absolute basics of combat. It's pretty simple. Turn-based ain't that complex. It's more about the strategizing, team building, not the actual fundamentals of it. You can see over here, we can get up to 3 times speed. This unlocks pretty early in the game, so make sure you set your 3 times speed so everything happens a bit quicker. You have auto, or you can put it on manual, up to you depending on the situation, what you want to be doing. And that's pretty much the basics to it. You hit start, and then if you have on auto, character's going to auto use their abilities, or you can put it on manual, and then you're going to have to select Q, W, or E for each character's ability to go ahead and do it. That's pretty much the gist of combat. It's not that complicated. I'm not going to dive deep into it. Put it on auto generally, have a balanced team, make sure you have a healer, maybe someone to block some damage, mitigate some damage, someone to deal some damage. You're pretty much good through the early game. I'll have many more team, and I already have some on the channel talking about teams, synergies, and stuff like that, but that is the basics of combat. Now, the last thing I want to talk about with combat is going to be the auto system. Now, when you clear a stage, if you clear it with 1 star, when you go to continuous battle, you'll be able to do 5 runs max. If you 2-star it like this one, I can do 8 runs max, and if you 3-star it, you will be able to do 10 runs on auto. So to do that, you're just going to go start battle. And then when it jumps in, you're going to select your team. And you can choose, at the moment, you can choose target order. So you can choose which enemies on each wave you want to target first as a priority, or you can just let the AI choose in itself. That's going to be important in some situations. We're really hoping they give us a attack priority for your characters. We'll have to wait and see if that ever comes in, but that's what you can do for settings at the moment. Then all you have to do is hit battle, and then you hit this little button over in the right here, and then it's going to exit out. You can see it running in the background. Those battles will run in the background. And while they are running, if you want to go ahead and do anything else, you can do it. If you want to farm a different stage over here, for instance, like let's say I want to go ahead and farm 2 things at once, you can do that. You can go do arena. Essentially, when you do have a multi-battle running in the background, it is genuinely running in the background. It is going to run no matter what, and you are good. You can close the game. You can come back. I'm on my PC. I could close the game, come back on my phone, and that would still be running in the background. And if I just leave my computer off for the next 10 minutes, I'll come back, and those runs, maybe it's at 6 of 8, depending on how long I leave it for. So it's a really good background system. Definitely take use of it, because it doesn't matter if your runs are slow. You can just go in the background and you can play every other aspect of the game while it is still running in the background. Now, moving on past that, how are you going to get your animus? Obviously, we're going to do that through the summoning page. Now, we're going to have different banners. You can see at the moment we have 2 rate up banners, one for the light dark units. That's what I'm going to refer to them. They use these gold discs, or if you use gems, they're going to cost you 300 gems to pull. Just note, you can't use gems to pull on the standard LD banner. You can only use the discs. Then we have the standard element, the red, green, blue element characters. They are going to have rate up banners. You can see this one's Freya. Now, with these banners, these have an 80 hard pity and a no soft pity at all, whereas the standard banners have a 50 soft pity and an 80 hard pity. Just note on the permanent summon, which this is the one I would recommend a lot of people doing early on, the permanent summon, when a character goes on to rate up, they are also instantly in the permanent banner, which is really, really nice. So Freya is already in there, even though she is on rate up. And you can also get the light dark units from these pools as well. So for an early game player, I think just summoning on the permanent banner in general is just a good recommendation because there's such a value in there for new players. That's about as in-depth as I'll go. I will have other videos talking about summons as well. But in general, if you're a new player, I recommend doing some permanent summons. You will have a beginner banner, which is a 40 pools, and you get to have a select red, green, blue unit that you can go ahead and get at the end of your 40 pools. I recommend doing some pools on your standard banner before you go ahead and select that, because otherwise you might risk getting the dupe of a character through summons. So that is that one. Moving on from that, I want to talk about quests. Quests are a very important thing because a lot of the game will have level locks. For instance, if this account's a bit progressed, but if we look over here and let's say I want to get into the next level of farming gear, I am required to be level 50. So leveling up is a very important thing. How do you level up? You level up through spending stamina or energy or whatever the hell they call it in this one, stability. So spending stability is going to level you up 1 for 1. But the other way you're going to do it is through quests. You can see here, this one quest here is giving us 50 experience for our account. So doing your daily quests every day is going to be a really important thing. Now, if you're playing actively, you should just cruise through these anyway. It's just basically playing through a bunch of the different areas of the game and you will get them done. But make sure you're doing these daily because it is a good chunk of experience that you otherwise will miss out on. So really good for leveling up your account. Then we have weekly quests. These don't give experience, but they do give decent rewards. So if you can stay on top of them as well, it'll be good. But definitely getting those daily quests done is going to be really good for your account level progression. As I mentioned, a lot of stuff is gated behind your account level. Now, if you do want to get some extra experience, you can use gems to refresh your stamina. A lot of people won't want to do this. Some people will. I personally will be as free to play, but I know some people won't, so I'm not telling you should. I'm just letting you know it is there as an option, but it will be costing you 960 gems per day to do it, which is the equivalent of just about a 10 pull on the standard banner. So just keep that in mind. It's up to you, but it is a way to level your account faster, especially in the early game. My plan personally is to do it up to about level 50 and then stop doing the gem refills. The other thing is you will get these along the way, which are like the stability potions. Just note, eventually there will be events that give 2x drops on different areas. So me personally, I'll probably be saving some of these for those 2x drops so I can basically double the value that these bring me. So that is another thing as well. But if you want to use them earlier to get experience, that is definitely another option for you. Now, as we move into, I want to go into some of the combat zones and stuff that you have to do. So if we go to challenge, this is where you're going to find everything that you can do in the game, essentially. Now, the main quest is very simple. If you have a main quest that you can do the main quest. That's pretty much all there is to it. It is level gated, so you'll get up to date with the main quest, then you'll have to level your account up by doing all those other things, and then you can keep unlocking the main quest. Main quest, just very important, stay on top of it, keep progressing. Now, what do we have in the challenge mode? The top section here is going to be your general resource farm. Shells are the shells, which are kind of like the weapons or pets or whatever you want to call them. Modules is your gearing system. Animus XP, pretty self-explanatory. That's the experience for your characters. And then we have the prowess material, which is those ones that give you the skill upgrades. Not the cubes that I talked about that are finite. This is the other resource that you need, which is infinite farmable. So that is that one. As we move down, and this is where you're going to spend the bulk of your stamina or stability in the game, pretty much your general farming. Then we move down to trial challenges. These are like your permanent challenge. Dude, the game sketches when you try and move with your mouse. These are your permanent challenge modes that some of them will be resetting. You can see Phantom Theater is refreshing in 7 hours. We've got Ember Trek resetting in 29 days and 7 hours. We got this one refreshing in 14 days. These are longer term modes that you want to progress through. They're challenging modes. This one, you're going to challenge a lot of bosses. This one is a co-op mode where you're going to fight 3 different bosses with a teammate, where you each fight one boss and then you team up against another boss. Ember Trek, once again, this is a progression mode, kind of like a bit of a roguelike. You get to bosses and then you choose different buffs, debuffs that you have, and you go ahead and get in and kill them. And then we have Ethernet Rally, which is a grid-based system where you're going to have to set multiple teams with different restrictions in different points, go through, defeat enemies. So this is one of those ones that really promotes you to broaden your roster of characters. And those are your main, permanent events. So not events, permanent modes. And these ones you do want to push as far as you can because you can get some really strong rewards to help you progress with those. Then down here, we have limited events. Now this is on a test build, so we've got all of them active. Normally we won't see more than 2 events in here at a time. This is just a test build, so it's showing like every event that you have. But normally you'll have 2 of these, and normally these are like daily reset things. So you jump in, do some very basic stuff on a daily basis to go ahead and get yourself some rewards. Now, moving on from that, we do have Arena as well. Now, Arena, even if you're not someone who cares about Arena, we do have 3 types of Arena, which is the Etheria is the Ether Arena. The basic arena on the left here is just fighting against other people's AI defense. The summon arena is real-time arena battles with a drafting type system. And then the fearless arena is a tournament thing that is only open on weekends. So with these 3, even if you don't like PvP, I definitely recommend jumping in and having a crack at it. Just even if you just set your defense, do some attacks. Over here in the normal arena, you get 5 attacks per day, and then you can buy up to 10 extra attacks. So even if you just jump in here and use your attacks, and don't stress too much, play it like it's a PvE mode, it's not too bad because you do get some decent rewards from here through ranking up, also for finishing in certain ranks at the end of seasons. But then there is also the shop, and this is why you want to do it, because some of these important things like the perfect lattice, these are for skilling up your SSR units. A lot of these very important things do come from the arena or the real-time arena shop over here. So definitely jumping in and trying to get some points, even if you don't want to compete, just trying to get some points is still going to be a really nice thing to get yourself extra rewards if you just want to focus on the PvE side of things, because just play this like a PvE mode because it's going to give you some good progression to help you with your PvE as well. If you want to sweat an arena, I'll be there too. And the final thing we have is our union. Definitely get yourself into a union, hopefully an active one. When you check in, depending on how many active players logged in the previous day, you're going to get yourself extra stability, which this is a great way to get yourself extra stability so that you can go ahead and farm more. So getting in an active guild is going to be very important. The other thing we have over here is union assistance. So people can ask for these little chips that you get from completing your daily missions and stuff like that. Make sure you're gifting these to people. Once they get all 4, they get a shard of the character, which is a progression towards a dupe for them, because as you can see, as you gift these, you're also getting yourself some ether coin, which may seem abundant in your first couple days, but once you start upgrading some gear, you realize you are always broke on this stuff. So doing that is fantastic. Make sure you select yours. You only need 50 of them, so in 50 days, theoretically, you can get a dupe of whatever character you want, provided you're in an active guild who is contributing. Now, we also have weekly quests in the guild. Definitely jump in and do these. You can see you're getting some extra rewards, extra stability as well, and then when you clear the missions, you'll also get extra rewards on top of that. Then we finally have the guild boss. So you can jump in here, you can battle through the guild boss and get different rewards as you clear different difficulties of this boss. jump in. Daily, you can do an attack. Now, you can do as many attacks as you want and try and improve your score on the daily, but make sure you do at least one attack daily to help your guild progress through killing these bosses, because you can get some nice rewards, including some extra stability down there, which is going to be really, really nice. And that is pretty much all the game modes, the main game modes in the game. Now, I want to touch on a couple other extra things in here that are very important, like the Hyperlink Charter. So the Hyperlink Charter over here is kind of like your beginner missions. This is going to guide you in the game in stuff that you need to do. You can see here, I've kind of stalled on this because it's a test build. I'm not too stressed. I need to defeat Nightmare 2 Terror a couple times, 8 more times, and then I complete this, and then I'll get a bunch of rewards. It'll open up a new section, and as you can see, these have a bunch of great rewards through them that you can go ahead and pick up through clearing just these very basic missions. So if you're ever feeling lost in the game and not really knowing what to do, come here, check what missions they have, and you can do basically like a lot of these missions I could do, but I'm not grinding this account anymore because it's a test build. But you can come in here and just keep track with what these are doing, because these will sort of guide you in what you're supposed to be targeting to do in the game. So definitely this is a very, very important thing in the game to keep on top of, is these missions. You don't want to fall too far behind, because then you'll feel like, oh, everyone's progressing faster than me. It's normally because they got a ton of rewards from these if you've been neglecting these. Then we also have achievements. These are just going to pop up randomly all the time. You get yourself some summons from them, other resources. Just keep coming back here. You'll get a shitload of summons from doing these achievements. Don't stress too hard on it. Like, don't go hunting these achievements. Just play the game, and when you see a dot on this thing, just click on it and go ahead and claim it. Then we also have the pass. The pass is going to be, you know, your standard battle pass type system. You're going to get free rewards. If you pay for the pass, you're going to get paid rewards. Pretty much the gist to it there. Not too much else to mention on that. You do have friends. You're going to have missions that require you to have friends. So you can just find friends here and follow people. And that's basically how you add friends to your friends list. There is the archive over here. So if you're ever curious on anything, whether it be character skills, shell effects, matrix effects, you can come in here and you can check all that stuff out in the archive. I always love it when there's an archive in a game, because it's nothing worse than having no way to in-game find out what things do in the actual game. And that is pretty much the majority of the absolute basics that you need to know in the game. The last thing I do want to mention is email. Anytime there's some rewards that come in, it will come in through the email. And if you go to your settings over here and we go to other, your redeem code button is down the bottom. So if we ever do redeem codes or something like that, there is already one set for launch. I'll do more videos covering all the codes, but this is where you're going to find your redeem code over here. And that pretty much covers all of the basics of the game. And like I said, I'm going to have a lot more in-depth videos going through different aspects of the game, but hopefully that gets you pointed in the right direction. For when you start the game, you kind of know what everything is doing. I will have much more in-depth guides, like I mentioned, into gear and all the other aspects of the game. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.